To the October 8th meeting of the Board of Selectmen, I call would rise to the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome for those that are in attendance or those that have tuned in, either on cable or live streaming. A couple of public hearings this evening. We'll start with the first one, which is to hear the public comment on the November 5th referendum question concerning Town of Waterboro ATV ordinance. This is the second public hearing we've had. We had one 2 weeks ago tonight, and so I would declare the public hearing open to receive comments regarding the Town of Waterboro ATV ordinance, which will be on the November 5th referendum vote. Comments, questions? Step it up to the mic, sir.
Steve Busson. One question I do have is, this has only been advertised once in the Waterboro Reporter out of 4 weeks. Just wondering what the issue may be.
We don't have to advertise it every week for the
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because in the past it seemed like it was. And
Sometimes we do multiple things.
okay. So it's not a town policy to have it every week?
Right.
Okay.
It's been in the Smart Chopper twice.
Twice.
And you made
Yeah, I saw it there.
the reporter once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gauged that to try and get those in before 2 weeks ago for the first public hearing. That was our goal. It's on the website.
Yeah.
Publicized it.
But some people don't have it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And the other question I have is, a couple weeks ago there was a question asked to you guys about when the ATV club can approach you guys about adding more roads, and I was a little uncertain about some of the answers that were given, but in the ordinance it reads annually. So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, it is annually. That doesn't preclude us from addressing something earlier or whatnot, but any change to the ordinance would have to go through the procedure, same procedure that we're going through now. The question, I think, or the concern a couple of weeks ago was whether or not, if there's a change or an added street or a street that comes off, would it have to go back to the voters? There's nothing that preclude, or nothing that requires us to go back to the voters, but we have the right as a board to vote to take that back to the voters. So that was really kind of more centered around what the discussion was, I think 2 weeks ago, was, you know, would we or wouldn't we? And I think they were just trying to gauge opinions more than anything else. But there could be a different board sitting here to that might address it too. So, but you know, the board, you know, we took this approach. We voted on this as a board. It did not pass as a board, even though we put a couple of years into working the language, and then subsequently it was brought back on the board's agenda to take it to the voters. So we had a non-binding vote, if you recall, back a couple of years ago, and that was really well, a little over a year, well, 2 years ago, November, right? And so that was really what predicated us going forward with the finishing off the ordinance, or the words in the ordinance. So it will be presented to the voters. Any future changes may go back to the voters. It's not a requirement that the board take it back to the voters, but it doesn't preclude us, the town charter doesn't preclude us from taking it to the voters, just like we're doing here on November 5th. So.
Right. So let's say if this passed next month, could they approach you in December, January?
Yeah, they can approach us anytime they'd like. Doesn't mean that
right.
we have to respond to that request. Okay. And it really would be, I think the clause is in there because we review it annually, number one, to see if there were any issues. Number two, I think we all know that this town and the makeup of the municipality continues to change with developments. That will take some trails away, it might give them the opportunity to add more trails, so it really is a dynamic thing. And I think, you know, the words traditionally, which would be in any ordinance, would be annually we should review it. So that's the way that it's written today. Doesn't mean that they can't come in 2 weeks, but
Right.
there's no requirement for this board to react to that.
Okay.
So,
Any estimate amount of traffic that's going to be added on the ATVs?
It'd be the same amount of traffic that was being, they utilize the system currently. I guess I don't know that any of us here can answer that question. I know there's a local business that has been very affected in the last couple of weeks. They would probably be able to give you the best gauge of how many people. You know, on a weekend, we might have 10 or at a maximum 15 vehicles at the clubhouse. Currently, what we had asked for was Deering Ridge Road and Ospey Hill Road and McLucas Road. Those are essentially vital to a trail closure, right? So we have 35 plus miles south and 28 or something north that don't connect, right? So that's the reason for the state creating the ability to have ATV access routes. I'm going to give a second here to give a little spiel, because ATV access routes are allowed in the state of Maine. They're all over the state. They're north of here, not very north of here as well, right? Sanford's using some access routes. Bridgeton is. Denmark has opened a lot of their town to it. Those are access routes. It's a state law that allows those access routes to happen. What we did is went above and beyond what that access route is and put some restrictions, or tried to be able to put additional town restrictions to help the town have more control over what just the state allows. Having us come back on a yearly basis to ask about it gives the townspeople a chance to voice their opinion on how the year has gone, how it has not gone. And we are in this is a political thing, right? So you're going to see words be left out of certain things to sell an article one way versus the other. Happens in politics, right? We've found documentation that was in 2012 to 2014, there were 9 ATV deaths in the whole state of Maine. We have articles that I've read in the paper that are making it sound like there's, you know, it's awful and there's hundreds of deaths, right? Well, nationwide, probably, you know, but...
There is, yeah.
Right? I mean, it depends on where you're getting your information from, I guess, and that's ultimately what I'm saying, is that you're going to find information out there to support whatever your cause is, right? And...
Well, I own an ATV, so that's...
Yeah, no,
but,
and I'm not for, you know, I mean, I guess, as the ATV club, where we're at right now, we are putting this in the public's hands, right? And we live in a rural area. We are losing that rural area due to development, and this is an opportunity for us to grab a hold of that a little bit and try to hold on to our ruralness a little. So.
Well, I'm looking at is, let's say if there's 150 driving on a Saturday and 150 on a Sunday, plus the amount of traffic that's already on the roads now, there's going to be some issues. That's why I'm asking.
I know the trial that we did a couple of years ago on Deering Ridge Road, I don't think the numbers came anywhere near that. But
yeah, I mean, hit or miss. You typically have, you know, 1 or 2 guys riding together as a group. Sometimes you might have 5 or 6, but those are intermittent. You know what I mean? Somebody might be out at 10 o'clock in the morning, and the next group might leave at noontime. You know, it's
I've seen it.
The only thing that we do know is that when we do a ride that is sanctioned, and we try to have we've done it for the last 2 years with the town to run that road, with the fire department with us, and it's 25 or 30 of us. But then again, that's one in, one out, you know, and that's only that one day that,
Right.
that we're allowed to use it currently. So, and I guess that's ultimately the issue, is that most club members are gonna follow the rules and
Oh, of
do-
course, right.
But
But it's the non-club member.
Oh, absolutely,
Right.
and that has caused a lot of the animosity in some senses. But at the same time, you know, we're voting on something that is in my belief, truly going to help create our rural character, keep our rural character here. We are very much losing all the things that we had when we were kids, and if we don't pay attention to it, they're all going to be gone.
Yeah, I don't think there's, and we've expressed this certainly in a couple of other public hearings, but whether this passes or not, you're not gonna change those guys that are already using the road
Right.
illegally. And unfortunately, I think what we've seen, or at least what we've been told by, some of the fish and game folks and whatnot, that this at least gives them the authority to, if there's some legality to it, it's a little bit more controlled than when there's not legality to it, because when they spot somebody today, that somebody is saying, I'm gonna beat,
Right.
I'm running away from this law enforcement agent, but who knows? I mean, that's why we're taking it to the people, it's, we'll get a judgment out of it, and we'll see where we go from there, so.
Yeah. But it's just, my past experiences. I used to live along a trail, and it'd be about 150 on a Saturday, 150 on a Sunday, starting at 7, 8 a.m., going by, coming back and forth. So if it gets, I look at the traffic today, and you look at the traffic in 5 more years, it's going to be tough.
So what happens to the vehicles that are moving in? Are you upset about them?
No. It's just, it's reality. And that's
on all facets, right?
Right.
And there's things that we can do as a public to keep our town the way that it is. And I think this is one of those things, right? I mean, we're not a city, and I don't think that we want to be a city. So I think we do things in proper fashion, and we are a recreational community. We're identified by the state as a recreational community, so we should use those assets as a community.
But reality is tough. Where I grew up, I could take a snowmobile out of my garage and head off wherever I want to go. And I lived off Route 1.
Yep.
Now, developments, housing,
Right?
you can't do anything, but that's the problem.
Yeah.
There's no 5-year timetable in this. I mean, I understand your comment about 5 years down the road.
Right,
things will
but no,
change.
that's just an example.
This is an
That's all.
annual, this can be reviewed at any time.
Right, right, but it's just, we all seen the growth,
Oh, yeah.
and
You
Do
see
you ever think, 10 years ago, we have a town manager and public works department?
Quite honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's growing. The town's growing.
Well, we had all of that stuff, it was just called different things.
Yeah.
Just keep it a town.
Yeah.
Inland
tough.
Wildlife and Fisheries has money to help us too. If there are issues growing on certain roads, they can bring in extra enforcement, and they have additional extra money there that they've already told us that if we had issues, we could call them, like Ricky Ahern and Rick LaFlemme, go with that. He would bring extra law enforcement in. They pound it for a couple days, you'd be surprised what it does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Couple weekends, and
Yep.
it changes the attitude of a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And they have funding for that, extra funding, if we have issues.
Good. Yeah.
If I can throw something in.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt in the,
Council.
but to make it legal on the roads, you won't have these guys going 70 miles an hour, going like this, not even paying attention where they're going because they're worried about somebody tracking them down, or if they can just do the speed limit and head down the road on a legal road, not have to worry about other cops coming. You know what I mean? They're gonna slow down. It's a legal road. They're gonna slow down. They're gonna take their time like they would on the trails. I'm not saying they all do,
Right.
but
Most of them will.
Yeah.
you have the few that are out on trail riding, and they're just like, all right, we're not supposed to be here. Let's get out of here real quick. 10 of them, maybe 5. I don't know if there's 100 that go out at a time, but
Yeah.
aside from a special ride, but I'm just saying, if it was legal on the roads, they're gonna posted signs saying that you're legal right here to go from point A to point B, not,
Yep. No, it's responsible ones are great. I mean, it's.
I know, but
and they're not allowed
even the
machine.
irresponsible ones
Yeah.
will say, okay, we can be here, so we don't need to rush and get out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But that's my thought.
Never gonna solve that.
No. And it's
No,
become.
no, I know, but I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that much easier, I think. But
Yes, sir.
Has anybody else talked to other towns and got statements from other towns as far as?
We're recording all this, so.
Has anybody got any statements from other towns on allowing their roads to be open to ATVs?
There are many towns that have done this. Yeah,
Has
statements.
anybody got any written statements from them towns to find out what they would change, what they would like, how it's written?
No, I think the source that we've kind of, I know when we were developing this whole process, was really the folks from the state
Okay.
that came in and you know, talked about different things that were happening, and could have been Millinocket, or it could have been, you know, Greenville, or wherever. But I think that certainly there have been other municipalities that have embraced this, some of them, and I don't know if they've reversed their decision or whatever, but it's real. This is really, how does it affect Waterboro? And I think what we've presented is, you know, there's a few roads on it that may change if this gets approved at a future date. We don't know. And it really, the driving reason was because of the loss of a major connector for this, but we'll see. We'll see
Now,
what the people say, you know.
The contract deputies enforce it more if it's
Well,
a
I
town
think
ordinance?
it give them the ability, you know, the problem, and I'm not gonna, certainly not taking a shot at law enforcement today, but the last thing that any of them are doing are chasing people that are on a road illegal. There's too many other things that are going on.
ATVs.
Right, ATVs. So, yeah, they might be chasing somebody else illegally.
But the town ordinance is enforceable by our town
And
deputies.
it would be enforced.
I've followed a couple, so I mean, they do enforce it a little bit. I don't know how far they get to it. It could be somebody just flying by them not even knowing they were there.
I really think that's their reaction, is if they
Yeah.
see somebody
Yeah.
flying by while they're, you know, then they're going, well, wait a minute, this is not a.
Yep.
So if you go, and just that is a very valid point, right? So the wooden surface did say that they would not be able to enforce town ordinances, right? But they do enforce state law. So state law already depicts what an access route is. Where there are no ATV access routes, Sheriff's Department and State Police, that's really not their district right now. So the only people that are really enforceful about ATVs being on the road illegally currently are your warden service, right? So by this being an ATV ordinance, you've now added 2 more officers, or currently with the town's contract, 2 officers into the realm of who can stop the people that are on the road.
So if you've got a homeowner that's complaining of them flying by, I mean, they're apt to call.
Now they can call the sheriff's department,
And we
whereas
have
before they have to call the game wardens.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think we're only looking at one side of the ordinance too. When we review it, that doesn't mean that if a citizen out there has some complaints on it, that they could register it. It may be that we'd want to take up that issue, you know, regarding that. We'd get a hold of the ATV club and say, look, you know, we're having complaints regarding this, and we may review it at that point. You know, so it's not totally one-sided. It's not just we're going to review it for the sake of the ATV club. It can be reviewed both ways.
Meaning a landowner could file a complaint before the year is over.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think to Gordon's point, it gives us a two-way street, right?
Correct.
Today, there's no ordinance, so if a citizen that's being bothered by ATVs, their only recourse today is to call game warden service, right?
Law.
Which do a great job at what they do, but they're
with-
very far and few.
But with an ordinance in place, at least there's another vehicle for, or another path for a citizen to complain. They can come to the Board of Selectmen because it's a municipal ordinance. We're naturally gonna go to those folks that we know have influence, right, which would be the ATV club. So, I think, Gordon brings up a good point that it is a two-way street. It's not just all one-sided, so. Anything else? Anything else from the board? Sensing none, I will declare that this public.
Just to let everybody know that's watching the TV, this can also be voted on absentee votes, and the absentee is going to be open.
Already.
It is
It is open now, so between now and voting day, you can come in and vote, no matter how you feel about it.
It started yesterday.
All right, so,
Monday this week, so.
that being said, I will declare the public hearing closed.
That sounds good.
And we're gonna go into public hearing number 2, which is to hear public comment on the proposed General Assistance Ordinance Amendments. Is Nancy around? or-
She is not.
Okay.
She is at class, and she will not be
So
here.
on an annual basis, we do review, because the state has input into what their changes have been passed typically through the legislature, right? Not specifically, but they give direction to the Department of Human Services. And there are recommended changes that come forward to municipalities to include in our local general assistance ordinance. So I will now declare that we have a public hearing open to hear comment on the proposed general assistance ordinance changes. I guess I would add proposed amendments to the general assistance ordinance have been available, and there are copies, I believe, on the table if anybody's interested.
Just a comment that it's just updating more or less what it does cost to live.
Right.
And if somebody is on the needy basis, it might give them a little bit more to live the week. The other thing is, if somebody passes away and the town has to pick up the cost of that is gone up just a tad to help somebody get into the ground.
Right.
We usually budget for 2 cremations. So that went from $785 to $725.
Right.
Yeah. Which covers most of
So
the things.
this will change the overall maximum, it'll also change the food maximum, the housing maximums. Utilities, I believe, stay the same. Heating fuel assistance remains the same. Personal care products, supplement for households with children under 5 stay the same. So the real changes are the burial maximums, cremation maximums, and as I mentioned before, the overall maximums, which includes food and housing. Utilities surprisingly did not change at all, recommendations. So, any comments, questions, input?
And just to let the general public know, household of 2, a weekly basis, it went from 82.09 to 82.56. So most of these figures didn't go up a lot, but it did go up just a tad.
Okay. Questions, comments? Any from the rest of the board? If not, I will declare that the public
$625.
hearing closes. And the next thing on the agenda is to discuss and vote to approve the amendments to the general assistance ordinance as presented.
So
What is your
moved.
pleasure? Moved by Selectman Woodson.
Second.
Second by Selectman Littlefield. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
5-0.
5-0. All right, let's get on to announcements. Any announcements from anyone on the board? Other than absentee voting is now open here at the town, at the municipal offices, so if you want to vote in the early in the November 5th election, you can now come in and do that here at the town office. Anything else?
Just a comment that we do encourage the absentee voting so that we don't have a crowd.
Keep you from standing in,
5 o'clock.
keep you from standing in line some other time.
Picture ID required or not?
Not yet.
Yeah. Additions or deletions to the agenda. We have one addition, which is to, how we want to add this, but it would be to new business to add authorization orders for the Board of Selectmen, authorizing the obligation of bonds. And I think this would just give Gary as the town treasurer, I got some fly here bothering me, town treasurer and the chair of the board to sign off on this, on any obligations.
We hope to close on the fire truck loan before our interest rate runs out. It's taken a lot longer to get the fire truck. It's not coming until February. We thought we would have it by Thanksgiving. So consequently, we would like to do the closing next week, spend a little bit of money now on a down payment, and get the rest of it from the bank later. So all this document does is authorize Dennis and myself to sign some bank documents for the loan that has been approved by the voters.
We're gonna invest that money maybe somewhere so that we can draw some interest.
We won't be taking it out yet.
CD, I mean,
Yeah, we
we're
wouldn't.
borrowing it,
Well, we're not
and it's
taking,
just sitting there, so.
we're not physically taking any money in.
We're taking about 55,000 or somewhere in there for
The down payment,
the down payment until we buy the truck in February. I don't know that we can invest
Are
that.
you signing that paperwork so that you're gonna hold that, the bank's gonna hold that money for us?
Yeah. We don't take it all at once because we don't have any place to spend it. We haven't bought the truck. You're suggesting we put it in an interest-bearing account? aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. We're gonna pay interest on
Well,
it.
you're gonna get .0010000 interest.
And we're gonna be paying the 3 point whatever it is percent on it.
But this
so-
fixes the rate. If we execute the thing now, it's the rate that has been quoted to us, which will
You
expire.
sign- If you sign that tomorrow, or this week, that note is gonna be due in October of every year.
I believe so. I'm not sure of the payment dates. Gonna look at the amortization schedule and see, but see that it's gonna
Well,
be February.
it's 10 payments. There'll be 10 payments on that
Yes.
new pump that's coming. And I would imagine that if you're gonna sign tomorrow, that payment is gonna be due.
Well, we have to write them a check at the closing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think we can invest that money.
So-
I don't think that's legal.
Let's determine whether we're gonna put this on the agenda before we get into the minutia of what it means.
I move that we add it to the agenda.
It'll be new business, item L, which is Selectmen's order authorization of the chair and the treasurer to sign off on the general obligations of bonds.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. All those in favor of adding it to the agenda? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. This,
Is that gonna be on the end?
L. I got L.
Yep.
Item L. All right, we do have an appointment. The Waterboro Land Trust is here to discuss McLucas Road and the Boy Scout lot off from Main Street in the south end of town. So, you're up.
Okay. Todd Emmett, president of the Waterboro Land Trust. 6-7 years ago, maybe even 8 years ago, the Land Trust really got its foot in the door as a land trust by acquiring some of the very sought-after land in the town of Waterboro to try and protect Osprey Mountain, Bobsay Park. This particular lot, which was known as the Boy Scout lot, that we're discussing right now. So I think there was a number of 5 lots. This Boy Scout lot that we are referring to does abut Layton's Garage in South Waterboro. We have had that landowner or business owner come to us as the land trust and wanted to see about purchasing the piece of property. Our group discussed it where it was something that we sought after. You know, we had a list of town-owned properties, and we went through the list and looked at each one of the properties and identified ones that we felt were going to be of interest to the land trust. The Boy Scout lot was one of those. I believe 50 years ago, and through the past 50 years, the Boy Scouts have planted pine trees up there on that lot. When the landowner, business owner, contacted us and wanted to purchase the piece of property, we discussed it, and we felt that it was kind of in our best interest to keep the piece of property, where it was something that we had kind of wanted to keep as being the Boy Scout lot. So we did come back to that business owner and offered that if you can come up with a piece of property that abuts our property that's equal to, basically he's looking to expand his business and he needs to change his setback. So we made the offer that we would be willing to do some sort of an exchange, but because this piece of property came from the town of Waterboro, and because this did come to the land trust through the town of Waterboro, all of those properties, if we ever go defunct as a land trust, those properties automatically default back to the town of Waterboro. So we're talking about changing a lot that was given to us by the town of Waterboro. We're looking to preserve the same amount of acreage. Dana has been able to secure how many square feet of land?
17,364.
17,364 square feet of acreage that basically is right directly behind his building, which changes his setbacks, and we would be getting an exchange property. If you're looking at the property, it would be closer to Dick Gagnon's house. So there would be a small strip of land equal to that.
Used to be Dick Gagnon.
Used to be Dick Gagnon's house, yeah. So that was the exchange. We have sort of made a verbal agreement with that landowner saying that we are willing to do this, but we really feel that it needs the blessing of the Board of Selectmen, where it was a piece of property that we had gotten. Our intention is to keep it as the Boy Scout lot and continue to keep it as the pine trees and the way that it always has been. There is access to the bottom that will be improved upon as this project is happening, if it does happen. But basically what we're here for is asking for the blessing of the town of Waterboro to let the land trust do a land swap exchange that I think ultimately the Board of Select, or that the town of Waterboro, if we ever go defunct, would in turn end up with, right?
That's the only interest that the town has in it, is should the land trust go defunct, that those initial properties that were voted on back in 07 or whatever,
Correct.
would, and deeded some years later, would then return back to the town of Waterboro.
Correct. So in a sense, this if that were to occur, the town of Waterboro would be getting back a piece of property that's not exactly the way that they gave it to us.
So it's 13 acres.
Same acreage, but it wouldn't be the same lot line.
Yeah, so the lot line would change. So I'm assuming Dana is speaking.
This is Dana.
So what lot I mean, this is map 1, lot 10.
That's us, yeah,
It's 13 acres, and it's off from what was the old Route 202.
correct.
So it borders Layton's garage properties, right? So the property that would be exchanged is on what side of it?
If you're looking, it'll be on the left side, the opposite side.
Side towards Dick Gagnon's old house.
All right, so the land would come out of the 6 acres that represent that house now?
Yes. It'd be a 27-foot strip, 652 feet long.
Okay. And that way, on the southerly side of the lot, that would be the swap. You'd gain,
Right, he's gonna gain 27 feet? Is that the exchange, or are you going deeper?
Well, from Dick Gagnon's old house, his name is Vito. I'll be purchasing 27 feet roughly. We've got to make sure the square footage is correct
right,
after they survey it. Be 27 feet by 652, which borders the Waterboro Land Trust already. So
But what would we be taking, what is?
I would be taking 75 feet by 211 on my side.
in your map 6C,
I think so.
Wasn't that a landlocked piece of land to start with?
no, it borders.
No,
borders-
that's the piece of property that had that funky thing happen with 202 being discontinued. And when that got discontinued, the Laytons deeded 25 feet right away, and then Ricker deeded 25 feet right away, which we got 50 feet that went in at an angle. So the right-of-way changed.
Okay, the right of way, that,
It's to the north of the driveway now.
at one point,
Correct.
that was a landlocked piece of property.
Correct, but that has been, did get resolved.
Okay.
Correct.
Roger
Yeah.
Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Wilson, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So would this be adding on to an existing piece that the land trust already has?
Well, it's basically an exchange, but yes, so
So
we,
it would expand by a little bit a piece that you already have?
but it's not really expanding it. It's the same, it's the same, so we're losing, what'd you say, 75 feet on one side? We're gaining 25 feet on the other, but it's much deeper. But square footage for square footage, it's a swap, even swap.
Is there any other landowners affected by this?
The Granite Ridge Complex owns the property that abuts the side that we're swapping, right? Or the back side of where we're swapping. And then Vito is the only landowner that abuts that.
And that's what you're purchasing from them
Yes,
to execute this swap.
correct.
So it's 13 acres today, it will be 13 acres after the swap.
They're talking this piece of property, not Dean's property.
Does this swap affect anybody else's setbacks on any other buildings?
No.
It does not.
See it as
No, because we in,
No, but I mean, from the land trust perspective, we have had a business owner come that is abutting our piece of property. They're a growing business, been in business for a long time, and, you know, I mean, our goal is not to hinder, you know, business and development in that sense, you know, so we felt that it was, we didn't really want to sell the piece of property because we wanted it, you know, but, so the land swap deal, I think, kind of was the best of all for everybody, right? But
Well, we don't want to hinder business either, but we don't want to create problems for ourselves if there's issues with property lines and setbacks, that these rearranged property lines on these pieces of property would affect.
yeah, so if you pull up that map on your iPad there, you'll see that Lot 10 is all by itself. We're abutted by Granite Ridge Complex on one side, Vito on the other.
There's one other,
Mr. Wilson and Chevette.
right, so Chevette has got one point, which I would assume is map 1, lot 17.
Right, but they would not abut Layton's garage after the swap. We would still be the landowner between the two.
Is this going to be surveyed, or has it been surveyed? Or?
Yes. Yeah, it will be.
It has not been. Nothing has been done as of yet, other than the fact that we've made, arrangements and agreements and things that we could do, but ultimately, this is our next step, is to see what the, will
And
be.
the final product will be surveyed.
Correct.
Gary?
You and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, plus or minus.
Yep.
Briefly. And I don't know, I can't remember on that phone call whether or not you had touched base with either the town planner or the code officer to just make sure that you can expand your business in that zone. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
So if you haven't done that, and I'm glad to see you haven't spent any money here,
Yeah.
do that. And I also think we need to check the deed to make sure we can do what we're thinking about doing here, which sounds great. Were there any deed covenants in there that would prevent?
The only deed covenant that we had on those deeds when they were transferred to us, that they would come back to the town of Waterboro if we went to fund.
So it's
To the
not-
best of my knowledge.
It's not perpetual conservation or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Vito, is that the guy that has the house that sets way back off?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna change his sideline setback from, 80 feet to probably, 60-something feet, so, but still.
But he's still
you-
within.
You need 35, so he's well within that.
I'm concerned about the use, because the zones change not far from your business there. One of them's residential and one of them isn't.
Yeah,
And if you're in the residential zone and your business has been there forever, that's when you can run into,
Can you just
Yeah.
click on the thing
yeah,
that
I
says
don't know where
zones?
that line is.
we can,
Top left-hand corner, it says zones. You can add them later.
Thought
to
that
zones.
village zone went all the way down to the veterinary clinic.
We'll find out in a second.
Layers,
Yeah, layers, and then you go to zoning, and it'll pop it right up.
zoning map.
Yep. And then you just zoom in, and it'll tell you.
The front of.
You guys need somebody to help you with GIS?
Yeah. The front of lot,
Your father, he can still smack.
the front of lot one, or, I think this is the village zone, right? Okay, so the village zone borders both sides of the road, right? And it would appear that where you are today, you're in front of that.
is that Layton's garage?
No, this is it. You're on lot 1015?
6C.
Oh, 6C, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's him right here.
So my concern is, the back of your property is the district, the zoning district boundary line. So you need to answer that question.
So are you moving back, or are you moving,
Going to the north.
are you going to the north?
It's going down 202.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're going north
Yep,
on old 202,
yes.
right? So it would appear that he has to, from your back lot line, you have to, that appears to be the village zone definition. So you have to stay, you couldn't go any further east.
Up the hill.
Correct.
Right.
Well, no, this is probably less restrictive for his business than it is.
Well,
Village zone's gonna be less.
That's right. So,
Well, I've asked more than I needed just because I need to get a 2-to-1 slope because that bank is going to be quite steep, so.
You don't
I've
have
got-
the survey now, but you could come in and meet with either the code officer or the town
Yeah.
planner. He's here usually Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's here tomorrow. But get that question answered before you
Oh,
spend the
absolutely.
survey time.
Well, I wanted to maybe dig a hole first, find how much ledge I got, and there's quite a bit there, so.
So the only interest that the town has is a hypothetical one, right?
Correct.
Today, we have no, other than as a covenant in the deeds that the town of Waterboro transferred to the land trust, that says should the land trust become defunct, that those properties would revert back to the town of Waterboro. Okay?
Correct.
I don't know how you'd ever execute all of that, but, and it probably is well after I'll be off from this board. But there was 13 acres deeded, there's still gonna be 13 acres, kind of a moot point, other than it's interesting to see the swap deal.
Well, you can very easily make a map there and the board doesn't need to see a survey 2 weeks from tonight, but they ought to have something to look over beforehand. making the decision.
Well, and I think all you're looking for from us is an endorsement that
Then you guys are okay with it.
that we
Right.
acknowledge the
And
fact that
not,
you're...
not saying this would happen, but that still gives us an opportunity to not do it too. I mean,
Right.
we're just coming to you guys and asking for the blessing, and that's not what I'm saying is gonna happen. But ultimately,
So-
nothing is set in stone,
Right.
basically.
It's a step-by-step process.
Okay. I would say, if you move forward, put something on paper that shows the physical change, and, because there is a lot, 117, map 117, it's 1.16 acres, that is owned by Anita Chebec, that the land trust borders, along, as well as Vito's land. So that, your northerly, north border, right,
Mhm.
borders two lots. Chevets and
And
Vito's.
Vito.
Which it currently does anyways.
Yeah,
But it ain't gonna change the lot lines
no,
going by Anita's.
no, shouldn't change Anita's, other than Anita's lot is in the village zone.
Right.
And Vito's lot is in, part in the village zone, but
Yeah.
the bulk of it is in, would be A and R, I would assume, right? Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm also on the agenda for McLucas Road, for the land trust, right?
Yeah.
So we received a letter, Waterboro Land Trust received a letter from Gary regarding McLucas Road extension and legal documentation, saying that the town's lawyer had stated that they did not feel, the town did not feel that McLucas Road was a town road, and the 1950-ish 55 discontinuance held true that those roads were closed. Discontinued.
Yes.
So, question is, from the land trust is, obviously, we own a piece of property up there.
On the extension?
Huh?
On the extension?
Not on the extension, but well, yes, it does abut that.
Not what we're calling the extension today, though.
So it's only extension that was closed in 55, not the whole road?
Backside of the mountain.
We didn't answer, we haven't done the homework yet, in all fairness, to answer the question from this end of McLucas, from when the improved section stops, back up through where you own, up to the riverbed of rocks. I don't know the answer if we have the right title and interest to fix that road. We've been putting a lot of money in it for decades.
Well, I guess that's really.
It was called a different road. It was not known as McLucas Road.
Well, in the road review committee's road, there's 0.56 miles of public, which would be, I guess, on this end.
Right.
And there's 3,550 feet of discontinued as of March 14, 55.
Right, but
But that's
in the 55 description, it said, and I think it referred to it as the mountain road or something of that nature,
There.
from Penny, was it Penny Lane or not? I'm thinking
Not
of
Penny
the
Lane.
Beatles.
Yeah.
And it runs up.
Yeah.
It listed Rosconna or
Well, and it
Red
went
Schoolhouse.
to the Red Schoolhouse in Rosconna. So that, in reality, is in fact McLucas Road Extension, as we call it today.
on the backside of the mountain.
But the starting point of that extension referred to a different lane, which I think was the one that went up over the hill.
Sweats Lane,
Sweats Lane,
yeah.
right?
And
And
that's
that's
where
the-
they
that's-
built that ship years ago.
Right, that goes up over the hill,
Yeah.
okay? So when you take that left-hand 90-degree turn and you go up over that hill, that used to be called Sweats Lane.
Yep.
Because the road, and the road used to come up from Ospey Hill Road, by Manning's place, or the other,
Hatches.
Hatches, or
yeah.
Colby, or whatever,
Colby, yeah.
and used to come up through, used to come up through the, what they call the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
So really, the main reason is that we received a letter, and we obviously have an agreement with the tower and an agreement with the town of Waterboro that for the 12 grand that we get a year, we give you guys 20% of that to maintain that road. So my question is, if the town says that it's discontinued, does that mean that the town is not going to be using that money to maintain? Does it become illegal for the town to put money into the road? And if it does do that, then would it be in the best interest for the land trust to take that whole money and then we will take care of maintaining that road? And then, if that's true,
And I
all but 3,000 out of 20,000 that we've given the town has been spent on that road. So there's a balance of 15, real round figure, about $15,000 that should be put into that road from monies that we've given the town through the course of the agreement for the tower.
Well, we've spent a lot more than that, I think, over time. But
From the date, though.
we need to find out the legal question.
I agree
what
with
our
that.
interests are.
100%. So the first question is, what are we at? What does this letter mean? And what is it going to mean to us in the future? Obviously, there's some things that come up because of that.
Yep.
And just kind of bringing that
I don't
forward.
think that there's any argument that McLucas Road extension, so-called, as we call it today, because at that corner today, it then turns into Mountain Road, which goes up over the hill, which...
They're calling Mountain Road what used to be Sweats.
Well, I
Sweats
think
Lane.
it used to be Sweats Lane, right? So
believe
McLucas
that,
Road extension is the one that starts from that corner, and it's the unimproved portion that goes all the way to what was the
Red Schoolhouse.
Or Red Schoolhouse, right? So I don't think that, I mean, the letter that Gary put out was, it's considered to be a discontinued road or
And again,
based on that. So I don't see us doing anything to that road. And when you jump back to the split of the tower and the monies to maintain the road, we weren't talking about McLucas Road, the McLucas Road extension. We were talking about what really is Mountain Road.
Sweats Hill.
Sweats Hill is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Which
But
has
by
been
what-
zero money there.
But by putting money, it opens up a big can of worms.
Well, that's right.
We put money in to the road going to the tower from
The yellow
this
gate.
corner of here.
Okay.
From
Yep.
the old fire station to the top of the tower. We put money into that year after year after year, whether we've got records of it or not. But since you've become the land trust and you took over that piece of property, I didn't realize you was turning money back to the town
Oh
for
yeah.
the maintenance. But that is a sure sign that the town of Waterboro has been maintaining that road to a standard to get something for a truck or a vehicle up across there.
Well,
And that,
there was
we did not abandon the road because in the last 15 years, we put money into it.
I guess the thing to find out, Wayne, is if it was legally discontinued by a town
It
meeting
doesn't
vote.
matter if it was discontinued, we put money into this for.
So that means I can put money into your driveway?
Huh?
So that means I can put money in your driveway and use it as a road?
We're really deflecting
No,
here,
you're
right?
not the town.
Sweats Hill Road, or Sweats Lane, or whatever it's now called Mountain Road, okay? And I think it was referred to Mountain Road, and that was not part of the discontinuance,
No.
okay?
There's no distance on that notch of 55.
Okay, but, you know, I
That's
think
the
you gotta,
confusing part.
you gotta
But it
use
goes
the
to Sweat
definition.
Bridge,
It
Sweat
says Sweats Lane. So we're not talking about a road that goes up, that the forestry department, town of Waterboro, have put money into that road to keep it passable to the tower, all right? Bob Carroll, I'm sure, put some money into it because, okay? We're not talking about that road here, all right?
No, so,
His letter talked about McLucas Road extension,
extension.
period. And I can.
And that begins at the corner of Sweats Hill, or
That's-
whatever,
that's-
Mountain Road, what
If
you
you
call
read the
it.
definition in the 1955 town meeting, that's what it says.
So where there's a lot of questions in some senses, if you guys could just keep us in the loop of what you're finding out about that, because obviously we would like to keep the maintenance of that road up so people can go and leaf peep and do all of that stuff. That's what the land trust is for, to make land available to the public,
Unfortunately,
right?
is on the tax maps, there's 2 mountain roads. Mountain Road starts at the corner, and it goes all the way to Osby Hill Road, okay? Because that's,
And that's
This
Mountain
continues.
Road Extension,
right, because Mountain Road goes to the tower.
which is over your way.
Goes to
Yeah,
the
when you
tower.
get to the yellow gate, if you keep going straight over,
Yeah, good luck
that
with
comes
that.
back
Good
down.
luck,
to the
good
corner.
luck
down
down this
there.
break.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't coming back
It's
up.
not easy, that's right, it was a one-way trip.
Well, there were 16 roads on that March of 1955 article on town meeting floor. We researched one of them, and it's still not complete as to the extent of the discontinuance.
Fair enough.
We can tell from this discussion.
Fair enough. All I'm saying is that ultimately, regardless of whatever the agreement was, part of the tower agreement was an 80-20 split, and 20% of that was supposed to be being put into the road. And we want to make sure that that
Well,
continues.
that's-
We want to make sure that that happens, I guess. That's all I'm saying.
That
So,
was the
and if it
rationale
becomes
for
a
this.
conflict that the town can't do it, then we'd be interested to see if the town wants to just say, hey, you know what, you guys take the money and we'll maintain it. If you guys want to put a bond on us or something that says you're guaranteed to spend, you have to spend $3,000 on that road, I think we'd be okay with it. But if it becomes a legality issue, I think the land trust is willing to do what we can to keep that road open.
Understood, but in the long run, I would hope that the town could assert or obtain control of that road so that we can go in there and fix it. You would have to hire a large excavator and rebuild, create the ditches, pull all that stuff into the road. I mean, we're talking weeks of excavator work to be able to get a propane truck up to the generators. It's a huge amount of work, as everybody knows here. But ideally, we need to know whether or not we can do that now before we go and spend all that money.
Well, I don't disagree, but it appears that you guys are working on it and we just wanted to be kept in the
But
loop.
just past the property where you cut, you know what the condition of that road's like. It's an ATV cow path and you can walk it faster than you can drive a vehicle up. We need to create ditches. The road is the lowest part of the side of the hill.
So you have major issues that are going to happen there too, because you have Central Maine Power or whoever put the poles up, put the pole in the road. I mean, yeah, we just have a little corner here.
Big excavations and go around.
If you're talking about improving the road all the way, you do have major issues, right? But ultimately, all we're really concerned with is getting them up to our corner where we have our piece of property that we want people to be able to use,
I know.
hike, mountain bike,
Yep.
sled. Okay?
I don't know, did CMP put the poles up, or did the tower company put the poles in? They hired somebody to put the
I
poles in.
assume they paid CMP to do it.
Yeah, it went in when the
CMP
tower went
put 'em
in.
I'm
But
sure that On Target or somebody else put them in.
those poles went in when the tower went in.
Right,
Yeah,
because they had to run power to the tower.
right.
Power to the tower.
Okay?
Okay,
I'll be back.
all right. Well, we spent, what time on that, right? Okay, no more appointments, any public comment, anyone that is not on the agenda that would like to address the board? See any hands flying up, so correspondence, we've got the treasurer's reports and the motor vehicle and excise tax reports. If anybody's interested in those, please, you can find them on the website or call Sherry and we'll make sure that you get a copy of that. Reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's report. Start to my left, coordinating it.
No, just express our condolences to the Sylvester family. If you haven't heard, he passed away, and he's been a long time public advocate in, especially around the Alfred area. But he's been involved you know, in the 12-town group, which Waterboro was a part of when it was going on. And he certainly sat on the budget committee, the county budget committee, which affected us, you know, in many ways. Extend our
He was also
condolences there.
president of Maine Municipal
Yeah,
Association.
Maine
so
Municipal Associations.
Been a lot of years involved in public service. Anything else, Wood?
Nope. We won't see Tammy Wells' face around
Yeah.
here too much.
I understand the Journal Tribune is going to be no longer. So,
She's gonna continue working for weeklies.
yeah, I would assume she would.
Yeah.
Okay. Ted, anything?
No, sir.
Tim?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Wayne?
Out of town all last week.
All right. At the fair. Gary?
And I have the shortest one of my tenure here. I barely got here today, so I have no report tonight.
All right. So let's go on to new business, discuss and vote. 2018-2019 tax abatement for map 43, lot 887.
I will make a motion to abate map 0443-887.
This was an error in the acreage of the lot.
This was the homestead.
Oh, I'm sorry, homestead exemption.
I'll second that.
Sad part is I can't give it back to them for as long as it got erased off the tax map.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, the next abatement is the next item, which would be map 3, lot 24B, abatements for FY 19 and 18 to correct acreage from 4.2 acres down to 2.1 acres.
I will move to abate map 3, lot 024B.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I thought by state law we could go back 3 years.
You are. She does one and you do two.
So she does the current one.
She did the current year.
Oh, she did, okay.
So a total of 3. Probably clarify that. So 18, 19, and 20. This 20's tax has been committed. All right, item C, discuss or approve state game of chance license for the Massapequa Lions Club for Beano Bingo held at 813D Main Street. What is your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
5-0.
Item D, discuss and vote to approve the renewal of junkyard permit for Richard and Robin Levine at 1190 Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
5-0.
Item E, discuss and vote to approve the renewal of junkyard permit for Danny Lasky at 1533 Goodwin's Mills Road.
So moved.
Moved, do I have a second?
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, discuss and vote to renew the state malt and vinous license for Flippin' Good located at 236 Main Street.
So moved.
And
Second.
moved and second, and we're all set with our
Yes.
folks checking it out, right? So it's not a problem.
The only thing I question is the septic system down there.
I see they just
Why?
they just did some work.
Been replaced twice.
I know, why in 3 years do you need,
Cream. That's the story that came back from the technical people. It's just,
I can tell you when I mowed the corner, I was running through something.
yeah.
It was running right on the ground. And
Was it
just
green
ain't-
grass?
We won't go there.
Moving
California,
on.
you're all right.
Moving on, item G, discuss vote to appoint a member to the soccer.
We gotta vote on
Did we
it.
vote? I didn't get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, did we vote? All
Looking
those, yeah, I thought we did. All those in favor? Opposed?
5-0.
Motion carries. Item G, discuss a vote to appoint a member to the Saco River Community TV Board of Directors as alternate for the term to expire 6/30/22. And we did not interview this lady because Carol Fletcher is already on
This wants to continue.
committee. Yes, to serve as an alternate. She served on this committee for several years, but her term expired and she didn't get her paperwork in, so we have had her on this before.
Well, I've lost my paperwork yet. She's requested, or has requested, several different
Right,
committees.
she also would like to be,
That's coming up. The 2 more agenda items. Next page
Okay,
for her.
well, we can do it all at once.
well, I'm good with that. If you want to jump to H and I, we could do G, H, and I all together. And appoint Carol
I would
to-
make a motion to appoint Carol Fletcher to the Cable TV Committee, the Transfer Station Recycling Committee, and the Economic Development Committee. And the reason, I don't like putting one person on so many boards, but none of these committees are meeting that often, so if she doesn't feel she can take all of that, then she
Yeah, if those committees spool up,
Yeah.
then, she may
I
very
mean,
well.
if it's too much for her,
Right.
that's my motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Approving G, H, and I. Item J, discuss vote to grant the ATV Club permission to use a portion of Deering Ridge Road between the hours of 6:30 PM to 10 PM for its annual Fright Night ride on October 26, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved, seconded, any discussion? You guys have always, you bring in the fire department right as a,
Fire department as an escort, and
Right.
both ways.
so. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Discussion of road temperature gauges for 2 plow trucks, which would be our 1 ton and the other,
New pickup.
the new pickup, right?
I have a little handheld, actually I was supposed to bring it in here, it's on my desk. I mean, those go for 25 to 125. The truck mounted ones, I understand, are hovering around 600 to be mounted in the vehicles. And obviously it would be only the 2 we're talking about, the not Paul Poirier's contract vehicles. But I mean, it's something we can certainly do. I don't know what other information you wanted to talk about tonight.
I would say if you're gonna spend the money, let's put the one mounted right in the truck and gauge on it, rather than the handheld one that's gonna get lost. Don't you mount that on the truck, and I say knock it off the mirror.
I would say we'll just, the board endorses David to move forward and install, that's gonna come out of his operation budget, so. Everybody comfortable with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We'll vote.
Definitely.
I
Okay.
believe that Chadwick Bay Ross sells that place.
All right, last item under new business is, item on the back side, L, which is the, order authorizing, Dennis and Lamb to, sign the, generation obligation of bonds. What's your pleasure here?
I move that we authorize chairman and town administrator to sign for general bond obligations.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
My only comment is, if we're borrowing the money tomorrow, and I'm talking this week, or what, between now and the 15th.
When is the payment due?
When is the interest coming due? When we take the check and send it to the fire truck company? Or do we start the interest tomorrow if you're signing
The $55,000 to $60,000 payment we make when we close, obviously interest on that. My understanding is there's no interest on the balance until the rest of that check is written.
Right.
So we're not paying interest on the large 90% of it.
Yeah, because all we're doing is locking in the rate.
Yes.
That's my understanding. I'm not sure why we have to go through this.
because this truck will not be delivered, from what I gather, until probably July or August of next year.
If history is what they did, Dwayne, their February deadline will probably be months too early. So, yeah.
So, just, I'm not in the audience, but Dwayne kind of brought up a good point. If you got 3 to 6 months of $55,000 that's in your account, and you take 55 grand and you put it in a 3
We're not
months,
taking 55 grand. We're not taking anything.
you're not taking any money.
We're not taking any money. We're locking in this loan.
Two things here. This document locks in and allows us to close. When we do that closing, we are going to write them a check for that mid-$50,000 for the first payment.
And that's in the budget, Todd.
When we close
Okay.
with the truck company.
No, when we close on the loan next
okay,
week.
For the loan.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you guys were getting a $50,000 check
No.
for the deposit of the truck, and you weren't gonna,
We're
you weren't gonna be
paying
able to.
No,
Okay.
we're paying that back, but I'm a little confused on the interest that's gonna be paid on that better than a $500,000 truck.
I don't believe we start paying interest until we write the big check.
Well, let's just clarify that before you and I render a signature on this
We
thing.
can do that. Yep.
All right.
Because Dennis, if I may, it's been set up so each payment will be equal. There is no interest payment, so the amortization.
Well, the
sheet-
interest is gonna be built into the payment.
Yes, sir.
So,
But we're gonna have the money and the interest starting this week, and we're gonna take delivery sometime next year.
Right, but your concern is paying interest on the whole 600,
Right.
right? And that's not, my understanding is that's not what we would be doing
But remember, if
until we use it.
the only time we will go out of this current fiscal year is if it gets delivered after June 30th of
Right.
21.
Damn well better be here before then. We got a February delivery day now. I wouldn't bet too much on it.
So do we still vote to authorize you guys, or hold on?
No, we need to authorize it because we can't
Yeah.
lock in a loan without.
We gotta lock the rate in or else
I would appreciate it if you would approve this document
we'd lose money if,
and sign it.
we'd lose money if they didn't.
As our bank is bending over.
We have a motion in a second, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we do.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
5-0. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Other business, we have none? Oh, old business, I'm sorry. Other, discuss and vote to approve the minutes of September 24th regular meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, pending decisions, week action list, I think you've got your
We got 5 things to sign here, gentlemen.
discussion of agenda items. Anybody want to put something on the next agenda?
I don't have anything that I'd like to put on the agenda, but before I leave, I would like to drop a comment.
You're not on the agenda. No. No, if you want to drop a comment, drop it.
So you guys were talking about the road temperature gauges, and I had served on the 2020 committee, and while we were on that GIS system that we were just very easy to pull up information, all of that. One of the things that came to us with that 2020 with Sewell was they let us borrow a Trimble. Okay, a Trimble costs somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000. Yeah,
Can be more.
Maybe can be more,
Yeah.
right? But you can get them for lower. You can also rent them. if we are going as far as finding out what the road temperature is of our roads, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to look into somehow getting, either renting the GIS unit from the new company, whoever you guys are using, but start to identify and put these culverts, start putting our ditches, take a month out of every summer, hire an intern, have somebody go out. Basically, it's a plug and play. They can walk over, hit the button on top of a culvert, enter in what size culvert is, walk to the other side of the road, hit the culvert. It tells them what the pitch is, tells them what it is. They can say this culvert is defunct, not working well, needs to be cleaned. All of that stuff gets fed into your GIS system. That GIS system is more of a tool than what you guys have been able to use it. As new technology comes, it takes you a while to get used to that stuff, right?
It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. So my point, I guess, is if we're concerned about the temperature of our roads, maybe it's something that we also look at finding out where all our culverts are. I mean, I know people know where they are, but it can be documented on that.
We should have that right here in the town office.
That's right. I think it should be something that maybe comes in the next budget, or
I will say, from 1980 on, I was hired 4 times to do it. And that information is in the town office.
To GPS them?
Yep. The last one was...
It wasn't GPS then, it was handwritten.
Handwritten. It's that one, and it was by the...
Shipping.
Yeah.
But we should
So,
put them in the
thank
I'd
you
like
very
to see
much.
that on the agenda for next time as a future budget item, because we got budget season coming right up.
Oh, I do want my keys.
Well, that's that and
But,
where do we stand with?
To go back to that, you gotta be smarter than the machine, because you gotta start, and you gotta have a starting point. And you gotta have a south and east, west, point on each road, and you can't start in Ross Corner and do the west road and
That might have been
you've
true.
gotta
That
have-
might have been true in the old day, but today that little GIS thing, you hit the button, it knows where you are. So
Didn't Roger and those guys do that manually too?
yes,
So you could compare those too.
So
Yes.
that is spatial
Right,
recognition.
I think you're right. The road review committee, Roger and those guys
They went around and did all of
physically
that.
took the GPS readings.
right, because we used it for the land trust for a week. I did Bob Fay Park, right, and we were able to upload the ATV Club GIS paperwork, so that's on the map. I mean, as things go and as time progresses, that GIS system will get more and more useful as a
Yeah,
tool.
because the trails map is on here now.
Correct. It's not accurate. We might need to get them to remove some of that stuff because we don't have some of that access.
Well, the real question is, I mean, when you look at this, there's property maps, there's the aquifer map, there's the bedrock, all of that stuff is in this GIS system.
That's phenomenal.
The
Lot
problem
lines.
is that it's not,
Water.
we need to make sure that it gets updated on an annual basis.
Thank you guys very much.
Selectmen Tech took all of that information and was fully, they was hired and it was in the office, whether it's been thrown away from moving it over, but it was all done, late 90s. And that's,
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks for coming.
All right, so just so everybody's aware, the next meeting, we have executive session starting at 5:30 because we have 2 potential interviews.
Should be over.
I think that's 4, I think
That's it.
it's 5.
5, I think you did 5. I was counting as they went. I
Okay.
think you're good. So 5:30 for the next meeting.
Yeah. So I'm confused with, are we,
22nd?
anything else that we need to bring up?
Yeah, let's ban vaping sales in Waterboro
Okay. Anything,
and ban plastic straws.
sensing nothing, I
Think nothing.
I think we reached a point where I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, I need a second.
Seconded.
Second, all those in favor? Okay, good night.